Why does your animation hold in the first shot and fall apart by the fourth? Because the look is being retyped on every generation instead of stored once. Build a style sheet and attach it to every shot, the same way you attach a character sheet. Students always assume drift is a model quality problem. It isn't. It's the same failure as a face that changes between shots, moved up one layer to the surface of the whole picture. What are we working on? A short film of 1 minute 20, widescreen, nobody speaking, no score at all, effects doing every bit of the audio work, built in a handmade stop-motion look. The lesson is that nothing about this pipeline is animation specific. References, locks, generation, then a check against what got loaded. That's the live action order too. Animation adds one artifact at the front, and I'll show you what goes on it, plus the mistake I made that a sheet would have caught. So what belongs on a style sheet? Write down surfaces, because surfaces are what drift. Matte skin, pores that read at distance, and the seam lines across a faceplate, since a visible seam is the difference between handmade and rendered. Hair sculpted from real fiber. Cloth where the weave still reads from a distance. Then proportion, heads a little oversized. Then lens behavior, a shallow miniature depth of field. Every item on that list can be checked by looking. Is a mood board the same thing as a style sheet? No. And confusing the two is the single most common mistake I see. Mood material carries feeling, warmth, or melancholy or tenderness. It tells a generation nothing about how a surface should behave. On this project, InVideo Agent kept the emotional reference labeled apart from the style sheet because the moment it sits in the same folder, someone attaches it and the look goes soft. How do you lock a character properly? Lock by sequence rather than by person, which is the part beginners skip. Daniel appears in 2 outfits across the film, so each outfit is its own numbered lock, and each shot points at the one it needs. His everyday lock is sequence 1.2. There was an earlier version, 1.1, and it was superseded. That word matters. Superseded means deleted from the working set, not left in a folder where a tired hand can grab it. Does every character need a sheet? No. And this is where people overbuild. 4 characters in this film appear briefly: a coworker, a customer, a street vendor, and a stranger on a train. All 4 are video only, one identity anchor each, no character stills and no keyframes. Anyone on screen for 2 seconds cannot drift far enough for an audience to register it, so a full turnaround for them buys nothing. How should a location be built? As a plate with no people in it. The train interior gets built alone. Bright stainless steel, dense vertical grab poles, loops hanging overhead, flat molded bench seating, louvered shutters on the windows, fluorescent tubes above. Characters arrive at the shot stage instead. Bake a person into the plate and you have made a scene rather than a location, and a scene can only be used once. What goes into the shot plan? Timing decisions, and they get written as numbers. Act 1 runs 58 seconds. Each shot lands between 1 and 2.5 seconds, so the cutting is quick on purpose. Cadence is 24 frames a second, shot on 1s and 2s, keeping the small stepped quality that reads as handmade. Write the cadence as a figure. Describe it as handmade, and it comes back differently on every shot. Do extra references make a shot safer? They do the opposite. On the train shots, the rule was 1 or 2 attachments at most, ideally the single rendered night carriage plate, and everything else written in words. Attach 12 references and they disagree with one another, and what comes back is a blend of all of them. Also settle stills before video runs. A weak reference at the still stage becomes a whole sequence of drift once clips start. What does style drift actually look like on screen? 2 different things, and they get caught 2 different ways. One early train reference came back as a metro car instead of a Mumbai local. That one, a person caught in review and logged for a replate before it reached a shot. A keyframe background swap came back too sharp, no soft blur, breaking the depth of field the shot needed. That one InVideo Agent caught on its own, rejected its own version, and delivered a corrected pass. Different judges, same standard. Check the surface against what was loaded, not against what you meant. So what catches this once shots are generating? A comparison against what you loaded, not against anybody's recollection. InVideo Agent checks a render against the attached sheets and reports the disagreement. And a shot that looks wrong can be walked back to whichever reference produced it. Nothing corrects itself. What it does is collapse the search. Instead of a day hunting for the cause, you read one line and know which sheet to fix. Don't other platforms already offer style references? They do, and pretending otherwise would be silly. Runway anchors from a reference image at the moment of generation. The difference is where the reference lives. Attached at the shot, it is something a person supplies every single time. And the shot that gets skipped is the one generated at the end of a long day. InVideo Agent holds it in the project instead, and it arrives on its own. Where does all of this sit? InVideo Agent keeps it in one place, and every generation reads it before it runs. Style sheet, character locks by sequence number, empty location plates, the shot plan, nothing gets retyped into a prompt. The old approach was writing the lookout longhand each time and trusting shot 40 to resemble shot 1, and a retired reference has a habit of quietly reappearing 3 weeks later when it lives in somebody's downloads. What carries a film with no dialogue and no score? Layered sound effects, and they do the work music usually does. The first act is thick with it. A kitchen, a busy street, laughter, rain hitting a platform. Then at the 1:06 mark, every lively layer disappears, and what is left is rain and a low hum from the rails. That cut is planned in the shot list as a timing decision, so it is built rather than discovered in the edit. What does a style lock not fix? More than you would like. It does not fix timing, and animation lives or dies on timing. It does not create feeling. And drift in the style is quieter than drift in a face, which is the actual trap. A wrong face announces itself. A slightly smoother surface does not, so it gets approved, and you approve it 3 more times before anyone says a word about it. So what order should you work in? Sheet first, with the surfaces, the proportions, the lens behavior, and the cadence all written as facts. Characters next, locked by sequence, each outfit its own number. Superseded versions deleted rather than filed. Walk-ons straight to video with one anchor. Location plates built empty. 1 or 2 references per shot, never a stack. Still settled before clips. Run the check and read what it points at. Sound and the cut last. So if you are building an animated short and you want the style to hold from the first shot to the last, InVideo Agent is where that lock lives. It's invideo.io.